Controlled Chaos here. I have a great interview for you guys that love Stars Reach. It is the man behind the curtains.
Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Pulling all of the strings in the live streams that we like, such as the fireside chats and the developers interviews from Stars Reach, is Thomas Marcon. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you. What about you?
I'm doing really good. I'm having a lot of fun in the game, and watching the live streams and the videos that you put together is really, really nice, especially those shorts you capture. And I especially love how when, it's live stream, it's done one way, and then the verticals, you actually move the cameras of the faces of the people over sometimes, and other times you keep them totally cut out based on what's going. So you actually do what I do is you look at the content you're creating and go, what would best suit this situation? And I appreciate that. And that's a good chunk of what we're going to be talking about here is, the live streaming you do and the video editing you do, along with, I heard you do some more stuff for Stars Reach nowadays. Is that correct?
Yeah. I usually define myself as a problem solver. That's what, when people ask me, like, my work, I'm a problem solver. But I also make videos and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, I can make a list. I don't even know where to start. If you'd like to.
That list would probably take up the whole entire hour we have.
Oh, no.
Hey, you work for Stars Reach. I got to stroke that ego a little bit, Just for the fun of it. But first thing I want to talk to you about is how long have you been into gaming? When did you first get into video games?
I guess when I was 9 years old. So in 25, I guess.
Okay.
My parents gave me my first Game Boy. It was the little square box Game Boy Advance.
Little square box Game Boy.
Remember.
Okay.
Yeah. With a bunch of games such as Need for Speed. I never wanted it. I was like, I don't care about, gaming boxes, but they wanted me to try it out. I don't know why. So I tried out. I loved it. I purchased more games. Then I went into Nintendo DS, Nintendo Wii, and then PlayStation 1, 2, clearly, until I went into computer gaming. So the real gaming for me. And that was when I was, I guess, 15, 14. So a bit late, I will say. I was used to steal my parents' computer to play. Hidden in my bedroom. But, I started with Minecraft and then with other indie games. And I was so passionate about simple games, physics-based, then that I started working with some game companies for free as a, volunteering, community management, some development, modding. At the same time, I was making YouTube videos for a video game called, now it's closed. The name was Robocraft.
I remember Robocraft. I played Robocraft.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there I started my first YouTube channel because a friend of mine asked me, Thomas, why don't you start a YouTube channel? Because why not, And I did some video editing before on Minecraft, but I was not that expert at that time. So I learned how to edit properly using Vegas Pro, which is a program I still use. Back in the days, it was called Sony Vegas because it was under Sony. Now it's under Magix. So I started making YouTube videos and became more or less popular. Then I started making vlog videos on vlogging channels that I became really popular. And I had my success time, if you want to call them like that. And then I moved on in 2019. I stopped making YouTube videos after the apocalypse was called. it was some drama related to advertisement, and I don't really remember. And I started working more on video games and so less on YouTube. And from that point, from 2019, I worked on different projects, mainly games and side projects regarding platforms, applications, and stuff like that. I mean, there's a full list on my website, but I still need to update it.
Yeah, that's the problem with keeping websites on, your career and a portfolio is constantly having to update it and stuff like that. And when you're able to update, because, some companies have non-disclosure agreements, you can't state what you worked on until after it's released, things like that. Now, the first thing that came to my mind when you said that your parents handed you the Game Boy to see if you liked it, I was like thinking, when it got to when you were into computer gaming and trying all the consoles, they're probably thinking to themselves, oh my God, what kind of monster did we create here?
Probably. I don't know. My mom said that she was always angry with me for playing video games while she was at work. I was not studying much at school. I was not the best, actually. But I was more into video games because I wanted to work into video games, not just playing games. I wanted to be part of something. I wanted to create something that people could enjoy. And I don't want to say I had one of the best childhood experience. A lot of up and downs, probably more downs, more negative experiences when I was a child. But all that because I was going against my parents' will. Against my friends who were criticizing me, calling me out of a weird guy, because even at the university, the first years I was not studying. While they were studying at the uni, I was getting bored. I was editing videos, making videos, working on a side project game. And they were like, what are you doing here? And I was studying engineering. But if I had to go back, I will redo the same, because I am now doing my dream job.
Yeah,
which is video games.
Yeah, and that's the great thing. And I'm pretty sure your parents look back at it now and see the career you have and where you're working, what you're doing. They're like, okay, he wasn't wasting his time. He was actually learning things just in a different way. Because my mom did the same thing. I got hooked on MMOs, EverQuest first. And my mom was always like, God, you're wasting so much time on that. You're even skipping days at work and stuff like that, because I was in my early 20s. And then she started noticing that my spelling and grammar was getting better, because I was forced into special ed. They wouldn't teach me how to read, write, or spell. They thought I had mental disabilities of cerebral palsy when I don't. And I was playing that game religiously, and this is before we all had, the voice over IP was very popular, and the internet was really good to handle it. So it was always typing, and people would send me private messages in the game, or send me a tell in the game saying, hey, you misspelled this word. It's spelled this way. I made myself go through and use that word as much as possible because I'm a phonetic speller. And I would use it as much as possible. And my spelling would improve and improve and improve. When my mom asked one day when I was texting her, wow, your spelling's improved. And I said, why is that? I said, well, I've been playing a lot of EverQuest, and people have been helping me out with my spelling. She immediately said, okay, forget what I said about not playing EverQuest. Get back in that damn game and play more. Because she saw the improvement. So games can be a very educational thing to learn from in multiple ways. And I knew this early on because I grew up in the era of Oregon Trail and Where is Carmen Sandiego, playing those on the Apple II. And it was actually a little school work. We had to, being in Oregon, we had to play those games. And so I knew early on that they can be learning tools. And it's nice that you're, working on Stars Reach, because there's so many applications for learning in this game, with you guys using as close to as possible the real adhesion and the way different materials work and interact with each other and stuff like that. Kids could learn from this game a lot more than a lot of these other games, and it's hidden behind a very fun game. And I know that when something's fun, you learn 10 times or 100 times quicker. And I really like that. But let's move on to the next thing of how did you find out about Stars Reach, and when did you start working for Stars Reach?
A friend of a friend told me about Stars Reach in 2023, I guess. Let me think. I guess it was January, 2023, I guess. I don't really remember. And I was in touch with Raf and Nina, Nina mainly, if I remember well. And then I started working back in January when we did the Discord merging process from the old Discord to the new Discord. There was a testing Discord. I don't know if you remember it.
Oh, I remember that. I still have it up on my Discord. I'm afraid to leave that server. I won't be like the last person on that server.
We moved everyone from there to the official one, and we synchronized roles, rewards, and whatever, Then I started playing a little bit with fixing social medias, logos, content, and so on. And so I guess I started working 9 months ago.
9 months ago. Great. Well, I can tell you've been having some fun with it, and mainly from the live streams. It looks fun, and let's go ahead and move on to some other questions. What I'm wanting to know is, before Stars Reach, have you played any other Raf Cosner games, or maybe even Dave Jordanson games made by Dave Jordanson?
Not that I know from Raf, probably from Dave. But I don't remember all the titles that Dave worked on. But Dave worked with some ex-colleagues of mine, and those ex-colleagues from other game companies worked at GameForge and at other MMOs and other games, desktop games, browser games such as OGame, Icarium. We're talking about really old games for computers.
Okay.
But I don't know in specific if I played a game by Dave or Ref. I need to check that. I need to have a full list, and probably I will tell you. I'll search in the meantime.
Both of them have a good catalog of games that they've worked on and stuff like that. So, and that's the big thing. And now, with you doing all of the live streaming and stuff like that, and video editing, let's start with what we all know you for the most, which is the live streams. What program do you like to use? Is it OBS, StreamYards?
So I use OBS, even if it's not the best. If real streamers know that OBS is not the main program you should use.
Yeah.
There are other competitors and new applications that are coming out or they're already out that I'm not using simply because I don't have time to learn a new program. But OBS anyway, with some plugins that are custom made by the OBS community because it's an open source software.
Yeah, and that's actually why I stick with OBS, is because of the open sourceness. You can find, you're needing something to use in your OBS, you can have a chance of finding it, or find someone who can make it for you because of it being open source. And that's sort of what I like about it. And plus, for people who are tight on a budget, it being free is very helpful, and getting donations and stuff like that. Now, with your OBS, do you use any kind of do you use Streamlabs or Stream Elements OBS, or just the bare bones OBS?
So bare bones OBS, I do everything custom made within OBS, and for camera control I use what is it? OBS Ninja? No, VDO Ninja. Which is a program used to connect multiple cameras together.
Mm-hmm.
Then I take each camera alone and I put it into OBS with some custom scripting, and I realign them. I combine them different ways with audio, video, colors, whatever. So there is some work behind, which is custom made. So it's OBS plus Video Ninja.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that's the great thing about OBS is once you have it set up, unless something goes wrong or there's an update that breaks something of that mod or that custom script you've done, it's set and done, and makes the workflow that much easier. And nice. So now, do you use a Stream Deck? Do you use hotkeys? How do you maneuver around in your OBS?
So maybe one day I'll do a station vlogging. I don't know, but I have some tools here. Mm-hmm. One that I use a lot, which I should update at some time, is the Stream Deck. Is the version with 15 keys.
Oh, 15 keys. Okay.
It's the medium version, and use the big, large and extra large version with 64 keys. So I'll need a bigger version, but I use Stream Deck, yes, to quickly mute and unmute me, desktop, the others, and to switch scenes. Yeah, that's it. Only that.
Okay. Yeah, I use a Stream Deck too, but I use the Stream Deck Plus. So I have the knobs that are also buttons and stuff like that, and the screen that I can swipe. And I really like that one because it allows me to control the volumes of different channels and also be able to mute those channels and things like that. I've also plugged in some Discord stuff so I can hit a button and just mute myself on Discord or mute everyone else on Discord, things like that. It's such a helpful tool in what I do. And when I got it, it just improved my workflow that much more, even in editing. Which is nice. Now, speaking of editing, since you work and make a lot of those videos that we see on YouTube, TikTok, places like that, what software do you use to do your editing and why?
I use Vegas Pro version 20 because it was the only program available back in 2008. Probably, I don't know. A lot of 20 years ago, Vegas was the main program editors would use to edit videos. Then there was, then came out Premiere Pro. Now we have DaVinci. Back in the days, I also used Pinnacle Studio. But yeah, Vegas, mainly Vegas 20. Now I just upgraded to Vegas 23. But I found a bunch of issues, so I do not recommend it yet until they fix it.
Well, and that can happen with any software. I mean, I started off with Adobe's Premiere and After Effects. And I used those. I used Premiere for my video editing, After Effects to do all the special effects, stuff like that. I learned it in college. It was just easy to use, stuff like that. And then when DaVinci Resolve came out, I saw that and I was like, wow, how many keep paying for Premiere and After Effects, but this one has a free version. Let me check it out, stuff like that. And if you're on a budget where you have no money, I personally say check out DaVinci Resolve. It's quick, easy to learn. And, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And with that, let's get into some Stars Reach topics. So when you get a chance to sit down and play for fun, not for actual stream, because in the streams I'm pretty sure you got set up of, okay, I'm going to do this because the update's about this or the chat's about this. But when you're playing for fun, what do you like doing in the game? What interests you the most in the game?
Fight. Yeah, I love to fight. So going against monsters, because why not? I mean, there are some techniques that I still want to learn combining multiple tools together and creating flying traps. Maybe one day I'll be able to do that when we have EU servers, because with US servers, there's a lot of delay.
Yeah.
And then I guess finding resources and building. Finding resources because it is challenging sometimes when I want to find specific ones. And building because, well, sometimes I start building and then it takes me emotionally, let's say. So I keep on building. What I don't like a lot is to experiment with different materials and combination, of heat and stuff like that. But probably because I don't have time at the moment to experiment.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future, yes, because I'm a more logical guy. So I love to find out new ways to break the game or do weird stuff with the tools they give me.
Yeah, I find it very fun to go through and break the game. I'm always sitting there thinking, because, my career in the games industry started off as a game tester. My professional career, that is, in game testing, in the video game industry. And so my mind, because I spent so many years testing, is literally, okay, what is the game not meant to do? Let me go try that. And just it makes it fun. So there's times when an update comes out, it's like, okay, they've done enough updates. I need to hit every key and combination and see if the game's going to do something that it's not supposed to do. I'm going to try doing this with this new item and see what happens. And I find that very interesting. And, when I run into those things, of course, I always report them either through the in-game system of hitting F11 or the button in the upper right that says hit F11, or I report them through the Discord and stuff like that. Very entertaining. What profession are you looking at playing, and what's the main thing you plan on doing when the game goes live, character-wise?
Soldier.
I thought as much, with you liking combat. Now, what kind of soldier? Are you planning on being sort of like the tanky upfront soldier? You gonna be sort of the sneaky backstabbing soldier? Or are you gonna be more of, something completely different, because there's so many options with what you can do as a soldier?
So what I like the most is being the healer in games. Someone say because it's easier. I say because you make the calls and you organize the team. However, in many games, take, I don't know, even Neverwinter game, which is another MMO I played.
Yeah.
Or take other usual games such as Overwatch, which I don't really like, or Paladins, which is another game similar to Overwatch. My main profession is the tank, because again, I make the calls, I know where everyone is, and I know how to orchestrate the attack. So more like a strategic role, where I have a lot of time to think and organize. While damage and being sneaky is more for those that sometimes are focused on single tasks, like I need to do damage, I need to take out the other opponents in a sneaky way, I don't know, I cannot follow the leader, more or less. I need to be a ninja. But yeah, so tank or healer.
Okay, well, and that's the great thing about the game is you can do both. You could be like a combat medic, and then even stack in a third of what if they put in a leadership type thing to help you lead groups and stuff like that. So you could be a triple threat type system. You're the tank that's a backup healer and stuff like that. Is always interesting, and that's something we did in PlantSide that I played, which is Dave Jordison was the lead developer of, by the way. I would be a combat engineer, so I'd carry my weapon with me. I'd have my repair tool and stuff like that, and build turrets. But I also carried a heal kit on me, because the way the group I ran with, you always had a backup profession that you do. So we always had two of one type. so that if the medic goes down, you have a backup medic you can use to get the medic back up type of thought. And so, the way you're talking about how you would play that character sort of brought that back to mind of, oh, you're the tank, but for some reason the healer grabbed all the aggro, got taken out. You could call the backup tank to, hey, tank for me a moment while I res the healer and heal them back up so that they can do their primary job type of thing.
Yep.
That's really cool. I like hearing that. Now, excuse me. With you saying you like being a tank, which do you prefer? The fortress shield or the reflection shield?
Fortress.
Yeah. And why do you prefer the fortress shield over the reflection shield?
So here, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's because it has more. It's more resistant. While the reflection one, you still take a part of the damage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the fortress one, like a shield needs to be a shield also because you can use it also to protect your allies behind you.
Yeah.
But yeah, a shield needs to be a shield. If things go through it, then it's not a shield. It's a filter, I call it.
Yeah. And I agree with you on that. I mean, I'd see something like the backup tank or maybe the healer using like the reflective shield. So when they get hit, it bounces back at the enemy. Me personally, I'm going to be somewhat like you. I'm going to be a fighter because, I enjoy that in games. And with seeing the new turrets, which the video you did on those is really good. Seeing those turrets, I'm thinking, okay, now I'm going to be a combat engineer. Because I always loved being a combat engineer. And,
strategic placement.
Yeah, and that's the thing. In most games, I'm not big into the crafting. Never have been. It's always a secondary thought to them. You find better stuff in the world, stuff like that. Star Wars Galaxies and then now Stars Reach, I actually look forward to crafting because I see a purpose to it. So being a combat engineer gets me into that area I don't play in much, but I really enjoy in games like, Stars Reach because I see the purpose to it. And find very interesting. So what I want to do is talk to you about with the crafting. How often do you find in the future you'll be crafting? And I take it because you're into sort of the healing area, you be crafting more like the healing supplies or the helix and things like that.
I think that will be normal for me. I'm a guy that loves to play every single feature of the game, and even if I don't like it. So sometimes probably here I'm wrong, but it's better to think by yourself and don't trust the others. So I'll be doing everything. So
you'll be doing everything. So it depending on how they do it with being able to, because from what I understand with Stars Reach, we're going to have access to get all of the skills, but you can only have a limited number at a time. And if you switch, it's sort of, you're locked into that switch for a certain amount of time, and then you can switch again in skills. So you're going to be one of those people of, okay, I need to craft stuff, go in my, select the crafting skills I need. Okay, that's now locked for however amount of time, whether it be days, weeks, a month, whatever, we don't know yet. And then once that's unlocked, you switch back to your soldier thing. Me personally, I'm sort of up in the air about that. I like the way Star Wars Galaxies did it in, okay, you're given so many points to spend. This is what you can, build what you're interested in and capable of doing within that point time. And then you're stuck that way because then others are reliant on one another to get things. If you want something crafted, you have to go to someone who's focused on crafting and locked in on crafting. You need healing, you go to a doctor or something like that. You need someone who can tank and be front line. You go to probably a meleeer, and go that direction. My worry is that with Stars Reach letting you switch skills, it's going to dilute that market a bit. And that's the one fear that I got with that. And you guys are going to have a real hard challenge of balancing the amount of time you're given that you're locked out of switching in skills. Because you can't make it so long that aggravates everyone to no end and makes it feel pointless, but you can't make it so quick that no one's using the market to buy things or using services someone else offers. And I'm waiting to see how you guys do that. So, what are your thoughts on how to handle that?
So I'm not a designer. I hope in the future I'll be able to share some feedback, because I will. I'll never shut up, and people in the company probably know this already. If there's a problem, I need to speak out loud about it. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of trust in, the designers and behind Ralph and Dave and Derek. So this doesn't worry me too much. I can predict probably that at the beginning there will be some balancement to do. So some skill tree, some profession may be more overpowered than the others. But thanks to the players, we will balance that out, because the only way to balance things is to give the game to a lot of players, right?
Yes.
So that you can receive a mixed feedback from both experts of the games and equally newbies. I don't know if that's a bad term to use.
It's a perfectly good term. I use it all the time.
Okay, so newbies. Indeed. I don't know if soldier will be my main profession, even if I would like to pick that one. So it all depends by how things will evolve in the future. And we will see.
Yeah, and I agree with you, because they've already proven to me that they can make something that I normally don't like in games and make it so fun that I'm addicted to it. Mining being one of them. Every other game, I hate mining. Just did not find it fun. In this, the beginning aspects of it, I already found it very intriguing and very fun. And I can't wait to see that grow. And with, Raph and everyone else on the team, their experience and knowledge, they're going to adjust things and take their time. And I like the fact that they're quick with how they're putting in the updates and the gameplay mechanics and patches, but that they also pull back when there's a problem.
Yeah,
and
that's the first game company I worked with that I see this.
Yeah, it's very rare that you see that in a gaming company. I really like that, because I like when we came up with the update where we switched from 5 worlds to 3 worlds, and Gunk made that big giant freighter right outside. I like the fact that they didn't just go, oh, it causes lag, get rid of it. They said, oh, it causes lag, keep it up. We want to gather data so we can make things run smoother and bigger, because we do want players to make these big builds.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now I want to sort of move forward a bit more, and let's talk about some of the other things that you do on Stars Reach that isn't the live streaming or the video editing. What are those things that you do? What else do you do for Stars Reach?
So I joined Stars Reach as a community manager. But so far I did not too much about community management. I mean, from what I usually do. My main role was always community management, which is not just chatting and writing around. Being a community manager means studying people, studying each one of you. Whenever you'll have a problem and you come to me, I need to study your problem, solve it, escalate it correctly, and stuff like that. So probably in the future, community management will be another role I'll focus more. Now I'm more focused into editing and streaming. Okay, fine. But also support. So if you guys write to support, I am one of the guys behind. There's also Rick, sometimes Rod, and also Nina. I did the setup of Zendesk, which is the application you're now using to contact support, and all the automations behind. Now I need to work more on integrating Zendesk into Jira to synchronize when you guys report a bug, so that developers immediately know about that specific bug and they can start solving it as soon as possible. Then I organize, the social medias along with other team members that appeared on stream, such as Justin, Sean, Rick, also Nina. I'm the guy now behind the Kickstarter updates. Then there is always Nina reviewing them behind.
Mm-hmm.
And soon I'll be working with environmental projects such as trees. During a fireside event, Raf showed some new, how can we call it? New upgrades to the game, with new trees, new vegetation, and new light effects, So hopefully from next week, I'll be able to start working on that as well. So on Unity. And while doing that, my plan is to record some videos for you guys so that you guys can see what we are doing in the background, while at the same time maybe streaming. So you can ask questions and share your feedback while I am working. And you can say, hey, Thomas, example, and that this won't be a normal example, but that tree is too big. I don't know, it has too many leaves. And I'll be tweaking that. Or I don't know, its colors are messed up. It's too purple, too green, I don't know, and I'll fix that, more or less. That's the goal, always following clearly the design team behind and the other developers' work.
I really like the idea that, you having that development knowledge, that streaming knowledge, and doing some streams of showing the work you're doing. I really like that. And I know I, for one, would be one to watch those. And I know several others that would probably be very interested in to sort of see the behind the scenes things. And since you mentioned, community management is a big part, especially for MMOs. It's the life and blood of MMOs. And, you've done a good job in creating a good community and stuff like that with the work you've done here for Stars Reach. Because it brings me back to the Star Wars Galaxies days where people are helpful and friendly and stuff like that. Same with City of Heroes, they were the same way. I really like that, and that's my channel is all about that, of help one another out, be friendly, be respectful, and be open-minded of ways you play games, and very fun. And, I noticed that it seems like it's a fun environment to work in at Stars Reach. Because I watched the fireside chats and you guys sort of poke little fun jabs at one another. Carneros will say something, and it's either poking at Lernick, Dave, or you, and you'll say something, or Carneros will say something, and then you'll go and purposely do it on stream just to sort of jab at Carneros. Is that natural? Is that the type of environment it is really like at Stars Reach? I mean, or is that something you guys are just sort of like, we want to do this?
We fight a lot in the comp. No, just kidding. No, that's no, that's what it is. Like they are all very friendly. We love to speak, joke, say jokes, share personal moments from time to time. Even when, a meeting is going to start 2 minutes early, I join, I see Rick, and Rick speaks to me in Italian. I'm like, shut up. No, I'm like, how do you know my language? But no. If I have to compare this company to other companies I worked in the past, I am speechless in a good way, because being an Italian, when we have a problem, we need to fix it by speaking. We speak too much sometimes. But we need to share a lot our emotions, what we think, and we are always family oriented. So when we need to achieve a result or solve a problem, we always think about family, friends, how to group up. It's more or less of everyone is at the same level. Usually American companies, this comes from also my studies, are oriented like it's called missile oriented. So like a pyramid, there is the CEO, then the managers, then people like me, below. And you cannot directly speak with the CEO sometimes. You need to go through managers. With Stars Reach, if I have a problem or if I share a feedback, everyone speaks with me. Even Raf, Dave, Eric, they're friendly, they speak, they never shout at you. And it's a very nice working environment because people actually speak and care about each other. And that's why I'm speechless. Usually, the majority of people working in Stars Reach, maybe I'm wrong, but it's from US. So the cultural difference between me and them should be huge because we are the opposite. But I did not see this so far. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. The American business model is completely different the way other countries work. It's all, American business model to me normally seems to be the business is, what can you do for us? You should be thankful you have this job. You are just a number. And I've been at a lot of companies that do that. I've been at other companies that are not like that. I worked for an independent game studio where he literally said, hey, you're going to be the test lead. You have the experience I need. You're the only one I know that has testing experience. Be my test lead for this project that I got that's paying good money. And, what you say test-wise goes. And, it worked out great. I've also been at other companies where it's, oh, your name's that? Okay, here's your number. We're going to call you by this number. You do as we say. And those companies aren't as fun to work at because you just feel like a cog in a wheel. And I felt from the beginning, because the way Raf and Dave and the other developers were in voice chat with us, that it was a very relaxed environment, very friendly environment for you guys to work with, because of how, even from Dave or Raf, who owns the company, joking around with us and having fun. The way I see that you guys are naturally joking around in the live streams, which in all honesty makes it very entertaining content. I really like those moments that you guys are sort of goofing off with one another. One of my favorite live streams was when you guys were sharing different foods. And like Lernick made this pie. Your I think it's your girlfriend made a pizza.
Yep. No, it was not a pizza. It was a cake.
Oh, cake. That's right. Yeah, sorry. It was a long time ago.
I know the pizza Italians are together, but this time...
sorry, got messed up in there and stuff like that. And I thought that was really sort of a cool thing to see and do. And I was like, okay, that's... You don't see game companies do something like that. When they do a stream, it's all about the video game and nothing but the video game. That live stream really brought out that whole entire thing of, we aren't just employees for this. It's almost like a family. We help one another out. We give advice and stuff like that. And that's the one thing I keep on hearing about, like Raf and working for Raf and working with Dave, is that it's a fun experience. And I thought as much with Dave, because he just seems like a goofball. always cracking jokes, laughing, and stuff like that. How hard is it to get work done when you have bosses like that?
Like in a negative or positive way?
Well, with them always, cracking jokes and telling stories and stuff like that. How hard is it for you to get in and focus on the work? Do you have a hard time doing that? Do you find it easier?
No, it's a nice environment. Again, don't think like we joke 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
When we need to work, we work.
Yeah.
We are quick. So jokes always when we have time to do jokes. But we are all friendly. I mean, the work gets done. I love the fact that Dave, along with others, organized everything. If I have a question, I need to go, for example, to Dave or to Ralph. Usually Dave, he knows the answer 99% of the times.
Mm-hmm.
That 1% of the time he doesn't know the answer, well, he goes after it and then he tells me, I don't know, the answer actually. So yeah, no, I mean, working is fine with them. I like working with them. They are all clever. Another thing that I like, and they understand, even if it's not their task, what we are talking about. If I speak about video editing or community management or support, even if someone is not into that, they understand it. That's rare.
That is very rare that you have a boss who at least has base understanding of what your role is. I've had so many bosses that all that they know is how to manage teams and nothing else about the company. And that just made it a worse work environment, because then they just get this glazed over look in their face that they're just sort of zoning out when you're talking about the work that they're having you do. Whereas, Raph, Dave, and a bunch of others seem to have all these multiple interests that they pull in. Like, until this game and him doing the live streams, I didn't know that Raph was heavy into music and stuff like that. And so, I learned new things there. And that was very interesting to see. Now, when you were talking about the gaming stuff that you're doing with the trees and things like that, I want to go back to sort of your game development stuff that you do and have done. Is it more on the programming side, or are you more on like the art side of things?
It's a mix, because it's mixed. So I learned some programming at university. That was C++. Unity works with C#.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess 5 years ago or 6, I started to learn a little bit of programming. So I sometimes program when I need to create custom scripts for me. For example, if tomorrow we need to create a custom camera tool, or like, for example, whenever we'll need to record some trees moving, to record a video, I'll be writing those scripts because I know what I need and I'll do those. With the trees, for example, my goal will be to work more in the artistic area. So using basic Unity controls, and alongside with scripting and other functionalities developed by developers to tweak the trees, colors, position, density, placement, and whatever.
Okay.
So artistic, and whenever needed, coding.
Okay. So that's good. And it's great that you came in knowing C++, because C#'s just amalgamation of C++ and, JavaScript. So, it's one of the languages that I wasn't taught in college, but I learned because I was making games in the Unity game engine. And instead of going the JavaScript route, I went the C# route and played around with that. So I know how that is. and very nice. No, it's not JavaScript. It's Visual Basic. It's C++ and Visual Basic
Okay.
sort of merged together for C Sharp. But having your hand in one makes learning it so much easier, because it's like it just, it's a smoother workflow instead of starting from scratch. So what's one of your favorite gameplay mechanics in Stars Reach right now?
Melting things, yeah. Or
How
freezing.
things melt and stuff like that.
Yeah, and freeze.
Oh, freeze. Yeah,
Again,
that's a
correct
cool
me
one.
if I'm wrong, but you cannot set enemies on fire if you create a lava pool. Correct? Because I tried several times, but if I don't know, burn everything around, enemies don't burn.
I don't know
Unless
about
it's a
now. I
bug.
know in the past you used to be able to burn the enemies. I think
Yes.
now that they have the resistances on the enemies, if the enemy is shooting fire, they're more resistant to fire and stuff like that, which I
That's
don't
correct.
really like that. I haven't tried it on the other enemies, like the ice enemies, of trying to set them on fire yet. I think that's something I'm going to put on my list to test out and play around with.
Yeah, I tried on stream. That
Oh
didn't
yeah.
work. I was like, maybe I'm doing something wrong. It's better if I don't do that anymore. Or
Well,
I look
hey,
like I'm a stupid
doing it
one.
on stream is sort of a good thing, because then the developers can catch it and stuff like that. That's at least the way I see it, coming from the tester's standpoint. And Raph and David and all the other developers, they seem to be eager to see these bugs.
Yep.
Because if they don't see it, they don't know about it, they can't fix it. It's it's a small team. So they can't keep their eyes on every little things, and things are going to creep through that become bugs. And, I know right now they're focused on stabilization and getting themselves to that 24/7.
Yes,
which
we have to be really quick at fixing bugs and adding new features.
yes.
Someone may say that's what you always do, right?
Yeah.
No, normal game companies have a time frame of 4 months where they develop new features, and that's 80% of the workload. 20% is fixing, because there is always something to fix. Then 1 month, it's all about quality improvements, quality of life improvements. So that means fixing a lot of bugs, optimizing a lot. Sometimes you see Unity games switching from Unity 2019 to Unity 2021, and now 2023. They always skip a version. I don't know why. But yeah, so now we need to do everything all together and quick.
Yes, and I gotta say that the team is amazingly good at doing that. I have not been in any other test where I've seen updates just go by so quickly. I'm normally waiting, 3 to 4 months for any kind of update, any kind of fixes. And we're talking, these teams are way bigger than the Stars Reach teams. And the fact that I'm seeing in like 2 to 3 weeks a new update that's adding new features, and then they're going into fix mode and fixing things. And so for the next couple weeks, we're seeing fixes, but behind the scenes, they're adding in new features. Always, that just, it's jaw dropping to me.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like on Monday, Tuesday. Well, every day when we get into our daily meeting, there's always some developers that comes up with, hey, I finished this. Want to see that? I want to see this. Want to see this improvement, these new features I finally finished. And everyone is like, oh yeah, please show that to everybody. So even like the next update coming, well, I cannot see what there'll be, but I can say that there will be some improvements in performance from what I understood, with a specific object that people love to use every single time.
Oh, you tease.
But I don't want to say anything.
I am so wanting to ask so many more questions right now, but I know how the industry works. I know I'm most likely going to hear a no comment type of response. So I'm not even going to bother asking. And that was such a great tease. I love that.
It's something that I like. It's something that I like a lot. And seeing it optimized and improved, I'm like, oh, finally, a game that knows how to do that properly.
Oh, okay. So this is where people need to start paying very close attention to what Thomas does on screen in these live streams to find out what he's doing the most and find out what he likes the most right now, and we'll get a better clue. I love that. So with everything going on, I know things are moving fast. What's a feature or system that you're sort of excited to see added into the game? Is it like character customization? Is it a specific gameplay mechanic? Is it a specific item?
Something new that I'm thinking of right now. Honestly, don't know, because my brain is more like what we have now, what we need to fix now. So I can tell you, I can say what I'd like to see maybe improved in the future.
Yeah.
Which is the building system.
Mm-hmm.
That, yes, the developers know this already. Dave is the first one that says, I cannot wait to improve it.
Yeah.
But because I love a lot building, and well, I played, for example, Animal Crossing on Nintendo Wii and now also on the Nintendo Switch. On Rust game is a survival game. I love to build in a strategic way. So building to me is super important. That's why I hope to see an improved version of the building mechanics in Stars Reach, because right now you need to click a lot of keys. Sometimes you get lost behind that, and not everyone likes to build in that way.
Yeah.
Gang, well, I don't know how those guys managed to do those big buildings and cities. I need a week off only to build what they built so far. That's amazing.
Well, yeah. The interesting thing is okay, Dave building something like the space station. That's to be expected. He's been working on the game for a long time. He knows how those gameplay mechanics work. Seeing Gunk with a whole entire team and all those massive homesteads that they need to organize, to put together, to make those big things is just amazing. They have some people in there that are natural born leaders and do a good job on that. And I'm very impressed with those builds. And that's the one thing I do like seeing is the different builds people come out with. And as Stars Reach enhances the gameplay mechanics for building and adds in more pieces, because I know that there's just the base set of pieces. I'm pretty sure there's more base building pieces coming out, because like we don't have any furniture yet. We're making furniture out of base building pieces. And I know that there's going to be furniture in the game, talking with the animator and stuff like that, and the future plans. And I like that. I like games that, you see a chair, you can sit in the chair type of thing. And so that's one of the things that excites me to see with the building is those newer pieces.
The role play part.
Yeah. And so with that, I got one last question for you, because the hour's pretty much up. With No Man's Sky releasing the Voyagers update that adds ship customization and ship building, where you can connect these different halves and walkways and walk around in your ship. Did you guys have an internal talk about that game and features you'd like to sort of take from it and put into Stars Reach in the future? Because I know Raph talked about ship building probably not happening until after release. Has No Man's Sky's Voyager update with the shipbuilding, has that changed that timeline internally or given the team any new ideas?
So I don't know about that.
Okay.
And just to introduce this, but I never played No Man's Sky. I have friends playing it. I've seen a ton of videos. So I even went to study how they did the procedural generation of worlds and how realistic is their code and stuff like that. That's very interesting and unique, to be honest. They did a great job. But I don't know if internally in Stars Reach they spoke about No Man's Sky, if they spoke about the building system behind Spaceship. What I know is that sometimes, even on comments below social medias, they say, "Oh, but Stars Reach is like No Man's Sky, but done differently," and we're like, "No, it's not. It's not like that." So yeah, no, I don't know anything about Spaceship. We sometimes speak about that, but I'm not the guy that knows a lot of details about it. Probably this is a more like of a Raph question or Dave question.
Yeah.
Or Rick maybe knows something about that. But I don't think that we need to shift or schedule or timeline because another game developed a specific feature.
Yeah, and I agree with you because then that just adds feature creep. It was something, it's out there now, and some game developers, when they see a new feature, they're just like, oh, we need to put that in our game. And that changes the pace of things and stuff like that. So, I know it's probably on a bunch of people's minds on if you guys are looking at that, how you're looking at that. So I had to ask. So, Thomas.
No, it's normal question. Yeah. I understand that.
Thomas, I want to thank you for your time. It was great to getting to know the stuff that you do for Stars Reach beyond just the video editing and the live streaming and some of the future things that we can expect from you. I want to let everyone know that you can catch normally on Friday or Saturdays, there's the fireside chats that you're doing, and on Thursdays there's like a Stars Reach developer or gameplay live stream that also happens. So you guys need to keep an eye on Stars Reach's Twitch channel, which I will have a link in the description down below. Everyone have a great day.
Bye-bye.